When it comes to companies, it's a central part of how companies actually generate revenue and how they actually get better over time. So what is the purpose of research and development? Well, research and development is really just thinking about how you can actually generate more ideas or more products and services that serve the user's needs or your customer's needs in a better and more fulfilling way, right? So there's kind of two different components to research and development. If you think about the particular name it's called, right, and it's on purpose. So R&D is called research and development because there's one part which is research, which is the generation of ideas that are out there. So you're extending the knowledge of the particular company or the firm that the knowledge that the firm possesses. So you're exploring a fair bit. And then there's also development, where you're thinking about how you can turn this knowledge that you've generated into something that is usable. And that's going to help out the users or the user experience that they have, right? So you're going to actually produce some products and services based on that knowledge that you got in or developed from the research side of things. So what are some examples of research and development activities? Well, what you should be thinking about with research and development activities is in your mind, and I think this is the easiest way to think about research and development, is you want to think about the activities in terms of a process, right? So you need to think of it from where you have raw ideas and you're thinking about particular raw ideas, and then you're moving towards the end where you actually have a usable product. Now, sometimes that might be called the innovation funnel, and I think it was Cooper at McMaster University was first started thinking about this. I think it was Robert Cooper first started talking about this, and it's really just this idea of you start with one side, you have a bunch of ideas, and you narrow it down into a usable product, and you go through different sort of stages along the way to get to that particular moment where you actually have a product. Now, what I would suggest to think about in terms of the process of research and development is you want to think about, or some of the activities, what you'd want to think about is, first of all, having processes in play where you can generate ideas and then cultivate these ideas. So this is where things like organizational culture, collection of ideas, and having the right sort of organization to generate sort of meaningful ideas really makes a really important addition to your organization. Then you want to think about, okay, so you have these wonderful ideas for products and services. Well, then you have to think about, well, how does it actually fit with the users in mind, right? So then you have to combine that with what the users are thinking about and thinking about user requirements. Then you will go through and do the design and development of the product and service. And there's a whole bunch of different stages with the design and development of the product. So for example, you might think about the user experience, and then you might think about the maybe it's the I don't know, like just all the different parts of going from when you first have the particular idea and then you turn it into an actual physical thing, right? So you might think about user requirements. Then you might think about how they're actually going to flow through the product that you're having and sort of work through the product that you're producing or service you're producing. And then you might think about, okay, in terms of the operation side, can we produce this much more cheaply and inefficiently by removing some things that the users would like, but it's not necessarily what we want to have at this moment. You want to sort of think about the different parts where you can optimize the process, the product and process that you have. And then you will also think about, so the fourth thing you want to think about is the quality assurance of the particular product that you have, right? So you want to think about the testing and making sure that the product and service actually works the way that it is intended to work. That that you're thinking it's going to work. So there's going to be a little bit of testing involved in quality assurance. And then finally, at the end, and this is kind of a repeated process, right? It doesn't stop. It's not one thing that just is like, okay, this is done, and then you don't have to do anything else at the end. It really is this repeated process. You go talk to the users, see if the users like what you've done, and then they'll have suggestions, and then you just kind of keep reiterating and going through, iterating and going through until the product gets better over time. And that's really how the research and development process works. It's pretty. It's this is how we know things actually work with the research and development process. And it's really, so I want to recap with thinking about the different activities that that you do in research and development, is you are going to think about it in terms of a process. So from generation of ideas to an actual usable product, and then you're going to redo that over and over and over again until the product actually gets really effective and you're continuously improving over time. So that's all I wanted to talk about.